Hey guys, it's Brandon of Happily Dressed and welcome back to the channel. Today is a really fun video reviewing a vintage buttonholer I found at the thrift store. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have saw I found this bad boy right here at a Goodwill in my hometown. And I believe I walked out of the store paying $6.41 for this. When I initially saw it, I thought it would just be cool to have like in my studio, but you guys were really adamant on me testing it out. Yesterday I did a sample test and it actually turned out pretty well. This thing is not only legit, but so efficient. Like, I was very shocked that this tool did such a good job with this denim. But in this video, I'm gonna give you an overview of the buttonholer, what it comes with, what it looks like, and then we'll get into testing it on a normal Singer heavy duty. And then also I'm gonna try it on the vintage machine I just found for $16. It's actually right behind me. It's right here. It is so cool and it's so pretty. So yeah, the timestamps will be down below. Jump to what you want to see, skip anything you don't, and let's get into the video. So here is the buttonholer in all of its glory. This is what came with the original packaging. We have the instruction manual, and then we have the buttonholer itself. So this is what it looks like. When I first saw it, I was like, what the heck is this? And will it even work? It even like opens up like this, and this is where you put these guys, which are the actual buttonholes. So these green ones are your normal buttonholes in different lengths, which is really cool. So the lengths are predetermined, unlike a buttonhole foot on a modern sewing machine, which uses like a lever and the button itself to determine how big the buttonhole should be. These are predetermined sizes that you can match to your buttons. And then the dark brown ones are eyelets, which you can use as belt holes, I believe. And then the light ones, I think, are your bound buttonholes. And bound buttonholes actually look like this image here and here. So this right here is a bound buttonhole. It kind of looks like a mini double welt. And then lastly, this piece is a plate to cover your feed dogs if you were using a vintage sewing machine where you couldn't lower your feed dogs. A few more things about this device. Like I said before, it opens for you to put your different pieces inside. This is the one I used for the test over on my Instagram, so I left it in there. But then also on the side, it has these little numbers. So 1 is for regular buttonholes and 2 is for bound buttonholes. And then 2 through 4 is the width of your buttonhole. So how wide your buttonhole will be, which will be determined by going up and down on this number scale here. And on the other side is just a mechanism that allows your buttonholer to reset. So if you like clicked it like this. So basically right now I'm manually doing a buttonhole, but it allows you to move it back in place. If you for some reason stopped halfway through, it allows you to reset your buttonholer. Yeah, so now let's move on to testing this bad boy and see if it'll work on my heavy duty machine. So I'm going to be using my Singer Heavy Duty 4452 to see if it attaches to this vintage buttonholer. I will say I noticed on the box too that this is the low shank version of the buttonholer, which is great because this is a low shank. Even the vintage sewing machine I have, I believe, is also a low shank. So I am hopeful and I kind of know that this will work because I've already tested it. So now I'm going to show you how to attach it. Also, I think when I was explaining these buttonholes, I didn't quite say what the brown ones were, but they're the buttonholes like with the circle at the end, which is super neat. So you'll just open it up, click your little widget in place, close it and lock it back up. So unlike other accessories, we won't be just taking off the foot. We'll be taking off this whole block here. So what we're gonna do is undo this screw right here to take off this whole piece. So once you get that little screw out, this whole piece should come right out. Move that to the side. Keep up with the screw, do not lose it. And then now with our buttonholer, we'll make sure that this connects to the screw that's over here on this side. So we're gonna line these two holes up to click our buttonholer in place. And then the second thing we'll have to do is make sure that that claw-like structure that's right here while I'm pointing connects to your needle tightening screw. And it looks like everything is on there. I'm just gonna shimmy this up some so I can screw it back in place and match those holes up. Now that those holes are matched up and that claw-like hand is connected to this screw, this lever over here, I'm gonna screw this back in place. You wanna make sure it's tight too. But now that is your buttonholer attached. And right here is where your claw hand should be connected to this screw. So I just cut out some scrap denim to test. One, I want to make sure that my buttonholer is in the right starting place. So to do that, I'm going to use the lever. and then come back to the end. And then there's also many horizontal notches and 2 vertical notches for you to line up a traditional buttonhole marking. I have my stitch length between 1 and 0, my needle position in the middle, my tension on 4, and then my sewing machine on zigzag, because what's cool about this is that basically your machine is just doing a zigzag stitch the whole time, and this buttonholer is what's moving the fabric around to create the buttonhole. Also over here on the side, I have the width at 3 and my lever on 1, since that is for normal buttonholes. You want to make sure that your feed dogs stay down, and you can do that by opening this up. There's a lever back here that raises up your feed dogs or lower them down. Alright, so I'm basically just using some scrap denim. This is 2 layers of scrap denim. But now I'll drop my presser foot and let the machine do the rest. So here is one pass with the buttonholer. And it's not as thick as I'd want it to be, but the cool thing is that you can continue to go over this. So what I found is that I like to go over it 3 different times. So this is what it looks like when you go over it multiple times. Like I said before, this is 3 times, but I love the way this one looks. So I think now's a good time to try out some of the different buttonholes that it comes with. Let's go with the green standard one. That's pretty small. That's pretty big. I feel like Goldilocks. And look at that, just right. We're gonna try this one. I'm gonna do the same thing and go around 3 different times with this. So I'm gonna pop this guy open here in the back, take this one out, and then pop this one in place. This is 20 millimeters or 13/16 of an inch. I'm gonna keep my width at 3. I really enjoy that. If I wanted it a little wider, it can be 4. If I wanted it narrower, it can be 2. But I really do feel like 3 is a good width for the buttonholes that I would like. And then now I'll just insert my fabric one more time. I'm keeping my settings the same. My stitch length is exactly between 1 and 0. I have my stitch selector on zigzag, my width at 2, needle position in the middle, tension on 4. All right, let's sew another one. And I want to also be known, like, I'm not moving the fabric at all. The buttonholer is doing it. Like, I only keep my hand here to keep it steady, but it doesn't even need that, as you guys saw. But here's a more traditional type of buttonhole. Had a few false starts because it is a little sensitive. If you like don't put it in the correct way, it won't start. But I guess that's what comes with the vintage machine, but this is pretty neat. So now I want to see if this also works with my vintage sewing machine that I found at the thrift store. I still haven't even really sewn with it, and I'm so excited to. And it's cool too, they kind of match each other. Oh, it fits. It also fits a lot easier than my modern day domestic. Nice, wow, look at that, a whole unit. Man, this machine is so pretty. I am very impressed. Oh, I need a needle threader for this one. Ooh, thank God. Okay, let's see if this works. It looks pretty cool with it. Oh, I need to lower my feed dogs. Oh, I don't think I can on this machine. So that's when this comes into play. That's when you screw on this plate. Wow, that's so cool, and it goes on so easily. That's so crazy how easy that is. You just screw this in place to cover your feed dogs. So yeah, this is definitely for vintage machines. Hold on, I want to make sure this is lining up where it's supposed to. Because if I do this wrong, I do feel like I can mess my machine up. That's hitting the plate I just put on, so I did not put it on right. It does move around. I wish there was a way for it to just stay where it is. I think I'm gonna have to go a little bit slower and take my time on this because I don't want that to move. Yep, I just broke my needle. I definitely just broke my effing needle. We're gonna pause on using this machine, but let's look at her. She's beautiful. So we're just gonna let our vintage machine do what it needs to do, recover. Hopefully I'm gonna find the right bobbin and then see if I can get that plate to stay still because that's asking for more broken needles. But I'm super excited because the buttonholer does fit on there and I know it will work once I get everything I'm supposed to have right in working order. But I will say, I'm just so impressed with what it was able to do on the Singer Heavy Duty. That really surprised me that it worked out so well. I love passing over 3 times. That gives me like the perfect fullness. But yeah, I'm really impressed with that. So I'll definitely be using this buttonholer with the Singer Heavy Duty. I can't wait to see how it does buttonholes on pants, on jackets. I think you can also find this buttonholer on eBay if you just type Singer Vintage Buttonholer. But obviously, you know, it's a gamble to buy anything used, so I feel really lucky that this one works so well. If you enjoyed this video or found it at least entertaining, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. That's the easiest way to support this channel. If you want to see some of the other cool things I found at the thrift store, including fabric, you can follow me over on Instagram at happilydressed. But until next time, I will catch you all in my next video. See you guys later.